Hello everyone, welcome back to Mindful and Mellow. Today we're going to use the Morgan Greer Tarot deck and we're going to do an intuitive tarot reading. Today is the first day of December that I'm doing this reading, so we'll kind of think of it in the concept of like the month of December, and we'll just kind of see what comes up. We'll see what comes up in the cards. All right, so tell us, Tarot, what do we need to know? What do we need to know as we kick off the month of December? Final month of 2025. Kickoff of the holiday season and all sorts of wonderful things. What do we need to know? First card is the Six of Wands, the Five of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Lovers. I need to cover this up because there's perceived nudity in this, so I'm going to use my handy Splenda card, my Splenda packet, the Lovers. We are going to pull the King of Swords, and we are pulling the Four of Pentacles. All right, so first off, I definitely get the vibe that there's definitely like a cause for celebration and or recognition, right? The Six of Wands and the Four of Wands, this could be marriage, but this is certainly the 11-11 type of energy. You're on the right path. It's a bit of a celebration. Could be something like a wedding. Certainly with the Six of Wands, it's not lost to me. This is an acknowledgement and celebration. This is understanding and being celebrated for who you are, what you've done, your contributions, taking the moment to celebrate. Certainly feels timely, right? We're in the final month of the year. This is usually when, businesses and others start thinking about promotions. What's the word I'm looking for? Bonuses. I don't know why I struggle with that word. Bonuses, but also kind of praising and recognizing all the achievements and all the wonderful things done this year. This should be no different for you, right? You should kind of take stock of what you've done over the course of the year and express gratitude for what's gone well, where you've had success, what you've accomplished, how you've grown, all those wonderful things. That is the best part of the year. What I always do as we kind of come up to New Year's is I kind of reflect back on all the wonderful things that I'm proud of and I'm happy about over the prior year. And I also kind of set my intentions for the coming year. But this is certainly, we definitely want to pause and certainly take stock of all the great things we've accomplished. We tend to set goals and set, have our aspirations, but we spend a very little bit of time celebrating those achievements. This is the reminder to celebrate those achievements, celebrate those milestones, celebrate the success, the abundance, everything that's kind of happened to you this year, okay? This is kind of telling me that maybe you haven't been focused. This is kind of sandwiched between that. We have the Five of Cups. Between the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands with the Five of Cups, right? This is don't always, this is the call to action. Don't just focus on what didn't go well this year or how this year was not really everything you hoped and dreamed it would be. There's still these two cups over here, so there's always something positive to see. Look for the positive in all situations, and you'll also, when you express that gratitude for those things, you'll start capturing more of that appreciation, right? The fundamental concept of Neville Goddard, Esther Hicks, or Abraham Hicks, that's something they certainly always speak to. So we see the two cups standing up here, right? But as we continue to express appreciation, say, these two cups, we will start to see maybe three cups next year, maybe four cups, and we'll start to see more and more of these wonderful things coming into our lives. So very timely given the end of the year. The Lovers card, closely following or immediately following the Four of Wands, isn't lost on me that this could be a month of like a love and a completely infatuation is kind of the term that comes to me. Relationship, budding, or certainly kind of gaining some traction. The Lovers is Gemini energy, but this is true physical and complete chemistry with somebody. This could be the person that leads to marriage. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be getting married necessarily immediately, but this could be the relationship that you've kind of dreamed about, that you've kind of formulated in your mind. It's very important too, and I was just talking with a friend of mine, we were talking about relationships, to be very clear on what you want and what an ideal relationship looks like to you, right? The universe will deliver what you align your energy and your imagination with and your beliefs with. But it can only, the more specific you are, the more specific you will find the results to be. Otherwise, something might come into your life and be like, well, that isn't what I asked for. It's like, well, you weren't specific. You know, you weren't specific. You just said you wanted a new car, for example, but you didn't say you wanted a new Lexus SUV. You basically said a new car. So when we delivered a 15-year-old Toyota, you said that's not what I wanted. Well, you weren't clear. You got to be very clear, with the universe. The universe isn't is very objective. It's like, you said I want this, and that's what it'll bring. So be very clear on what you want in a relationship and anything else, right? That goes really for everything. But this could be a match made in heaven. If this person hasn't come into your life, they might already be in your. I'm getting there in your life, but it might be kind of like either solidifying the relationship, or maybe you've known this person tangentially and maybe haven't necessarily like gone on dates with them. Maybe you take this opportunity to start. If you feel that impulse, you feel that urge, or somebody asks you like, hey, let's grab dinner, let's grab drinks, let's go for coffee, go. Okay, there's nothing to lose. There's literally a nothing to lose. Okay. And my nose is starting to tingle a little bit, like I'm going to sneeze. So I'm taking that as a sign. I'm taking that as a sign from the universe that this may well be the case, kind of giving me the urgency to say, yes, if you get an offer to go somewhere, go. Okay? The King of Swords. This is somebody who is incredibly intellectual, logical. This could be that person that you're attracting with the lovers. This could be that person. This could also be you. You might be seen as somebody who is increasingly seen as somebody who is very intellectual, very smart, a go-to subject matter expert in a number of areas. This is somebody, he is a taskmaster. He is also very smart, very bright, very quick-witted. He has a lot of clarity, and he communicates effectively. So if that's a partner, certainly someone who communicates effectively is going to be a godsend, particularly if you've been in a series of relationships where the person has not communicated effectively. That can kind of drag it all down, can it? This is telling me to, this person could be you. It could also be the person you're attracting in. But certainly we want to emulate the traits of the King of Swords. We wrap up with the four of Pentacles. I'm getting that this may have been a very good year for some people here. Some people that are listening, it could be a good year monetarily. Maybe you've accumulated resources and assets. That might be part of the reason why you're feeling celebratory, or maybe you're being recognized and you're also being compensated appropriately. Is kind of what this could be. This could be some sort of a fair compensation for something you bring. That people are recognizing the value that you bring and celebrating that, and they're rewarding you appropriately with a financial bonus or merit increase, or maybe if you're going for a new job, it could pay you pretty well. So hopefully, if that's you, this is demonstrating that that payment, that accumulation of resources, of funds coming into you. It's also a reminder, though, not to hold on too tightly. Remember, like, money is energy. So to receive money, we have to spend money. So it kind of comes and goes. I always say whenever I make disbursements, I'm increasingly consciously saying to myself, what I spend comes back to me multiplied. Whether it's like of the $100 I gave a friend that was down and out and had lost his job in July, or whether or not it's donating to one of the animal shelters that I have an affinity for, I will say to myself, and I probably should be donating more, but whenever I make some sort of a donation, or I buy something like that, or I spend, give someone money, or I tip somebody really well, I'll say, the money I spend comes back to me multiplied. And you know what I generally find? I find that that's true. I find that my investments will increase in value. I have more money in my bank account than I might have expected. Little things like that. But the more conscious I am of that and aware of that, and I express gratitude and also express happiness in giving money away to people with, like I said, via tips. And it's not like earth-shattering. It's not like I'm giving thousands or millions of dollars away. But when I express gratitude and appreciation for the ability to do that, and I say, money I spend comes back to me multiplied, it does. So a lot of law of attraction, a lot of mindfulness kind of concepts coming out in this reading. So hopefully you take some of that to heart. This reading is looking really good. I'm going to aim to do more readings during the month of December. I feel like this is a great time of the year when darkness is kind of at its peak. We're moving into the holidays. We're kind of wrapping up the year. Work is kind of slowing down and quieting as we move into the final stretch. I think this is a great opportunity to kind of, go within and express your appreciation for how you've grown, what's happened since January 1st, since we turned the calendar and it became 2025. We're wrapping up 2025 now. So I certainly want to do more of that, and hopefully you'll be here to listen and enjoy the ride. So with that, I thank you for being here, and I'll be back again real soon.